Greetings, my saucy subscribers, all 32 of you. But of course, that's going to explode because this video is about the sexy turn on buttons of the sacral center. If you want to know how to ignite the Porsche in your partner's pants, then stay tuned. We also got a few little celebrity charts, you know, all the usual people like Ryan Gosling, Leonardo DiCaprio, Johnny Depp, and Timothy Chalamet. So let's see what turns them on. Seriously, when you're a human design analyst, you don't need to watch porn anymore. You just look at people's charts and you like imagine. Okay, so basically all of the complexities that define human sexuality lie in the solar plexus center, the emotional system of pleasure and pain. One person's pain is another person's pleasure, and the other way around. And we've all got a unique combination of the two that's right for us. And there are these three streams of the libido, the sexual drive, from tribal need, supportiveness, caring, the individual, passionate romance, love letters, songs, hearing the other person's voice, being completely infatuated with them, and the collective stream of desire, of, you know, all the experiences of what's possible to do with this strange form. I mean, whoever made up what we have to do to reproduce is having a laugh, right? But the center that we share with all other forms of life, from the single cell that have to reproduce, is the sacral center. And here is sexual availability. Okay, so emotional system, sexual drive. Emotionally defined people are the really attractive ones. And it's quite interesting when you look at celebrities, because we can see that the projection is not always the reality. For example, we have all these cold but beautiful celebrities that are sexual icons, or try to make themselves appear that way, like Taylor Swift, Shakira, Beyoncé, Britney Spears. They do everything possible to chase after that sexiness, make themselves look as exciting as possible. But if you actually met up with them, I think you'd be surprised by how, cold they are in that way. Yeah, Lady Gaga, Timothy Chalamet. And then there are the ones that are really actually hot if you met them in person, like Angelina Jolie, Leonardo DiCaprio, Marilyn Monroe, Johnny Depp. These are all people that really do have an emotional hotness that you'd feel. You know, we chase after what we don't have consistently in us, Ryan Gosling, and then it gets projected onto us that we really do have that all the time. And imagine the disappointment if you actually entered into a relationship with this guy thinking that he was consistently sexy. Now we'll look at the solar plexus and these three streams in a next video. But today I wanted to focus on the sacral center, because like I say, this is the center we share with all animals and plants, insects, anything biological that reproduces. And here is where the sexual apparatus is, the organs, the testicles, the ovaries, the stuff that actually has to get turned on and respond, as the sacral does, to being opened up for anything to actually happen in the bedroom or on the savannah or deep in the ocean. Well, you know, okay, let's go into each of these 9 gates in the sacral center, because they each have something in particular that's going to turn them on. And if you've got a very fixed, defined sacral, a lot of colors and gates defined, then only very specific things, only a very specific way of doing it is really going to be satisfying you. Satisfaction being the keynote, the signature of every generator. And if you have the sacral colored in, you're a generator. You need your sexual energy to be completely used up and exhausted in order to feel really satisfied at the end of the day, which is where the pressure is on to be able to keep going long enough in order to exhaust that energy in there and make it explode and all that. And if you've got a very open, undefined sacral, like myself, my buddy Brad Pitt over here, then pretty much anything's going to turn you on. And it's up to you to adapt to your partner's needs if they're fixed in that way, because there are only certain things that are going to work for them, but pretty much anything could work for you. That's not necessarily a good thing. You know, it can be quite a challenge. There can be, if you've got a completely open sacral, there's no fixed sexual identity. So, you know, I know that my sexual orientation could have been pretty much anything, depending on how I was conditioned growing up. And indeed, open sacral centers often like to explore. Now, if you've got an open sacral with some definition in there, then you're going to chase after those things and look for them, or look for the other end in a partner. Same if you've got things pointing towards the sacral, that's going to influence you in some way. So for example, the 60 is the pressure for something new. So anything can turn me on, but especially if it's new or different or a little bit freaky. Leonardo DiCaprio, ninth gate of focus, is going to be looking for things that feel really intense. Jonny Depp, the 59, is the gate of sexuality, quite a complex one, and depending what line you have here, that's the specific kind of roles that you're going to take in emotional intimacy in relationships. For example, if you're somebody that's more shy at first and opens up to be really bold and crazy and surprise people in the bedroom, or whether you're somebody that's going to be a pursuer or pursued, or a seducer, or somebody that's going to try and build trust and confidence and friendship before entering into intimacy. And that's really important for you to respect that and not skip that if that's what you've got. So, you know, Jonny Depp, that's his only gate in an open sacral. He's just going to be chasing after sex, full stop. And it's even better if it's something new or different. And it's even better if it's part of a whole emotional story. He's very tribal and possessive, as well as openly flirtatious. What a player. So feel free to get out your own chart, that of your partner's, and let's go into each of these different sacral gates here. So the 34 is the only one that we would call asexual. Not because I don't want to, but it's the gate of busyness. It's the most powerful sacral energy. It's like a rocket. It really feels very buzzy and intense to someone like me with that open. And when the person is stuck in their life, frustrated, like most generators, that feels really not very nice. And when they're able to express themselves, move their energy towards things they love, it feels absolutely fantastic. But because this gate is very special, it's part of a really complex system called integration. You can see that it connects not just with one other gate at the other end, but it can connect into the spleen, the power to survive, into the self, the power to behave your own way, and also directly into the throat, the power to transform your thoughts directly into actions. It's the busiest channel, this one. So it's just often too involved in its own thing for the bedroom. Same if you've got any other aspect of this integration system, like me. I'm always busy with something in myself. I'm busy practicing guitar. I'm busy reading, studying new, whatever. So if both you and your partner have got some part of this integration system, it can be sometimes quite tricky to find a time when you both match up. But what's for sure, once you get that 34 going, it's really powerful. Now, Angelina Jolie is very, very busy indeed, and has also got the fifth gate defined of rhythm. If you have this gate in your sacral, it means that you have a very fixed rhythm On a daily basis in which your energy functions, you'll notice very fixed times when you need to have a nap, when you can work, when you can focus, when you eat, whatever. And so sexually, this means that these people are only available at specific times of the day or specific days of the week. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So if you manage to catch Angelina Jolie when she's not too busy and when it's the right time of day, then you might have an experience that this channel, the 515 of rhythm, again, they make very good percussionists in music. And you can be sure there's a kind of rhythm is going to be really important. The right kind of frequency and speed to turn them on. And again, intensified by the fact that she's got this ninth gate of focus, of details. So when people have this ninth gate, then you know that all the little details have to be right. Okay, my Julie's got that. If I haven't cut my toenails, if the bed sheets are a little bit dirty, if there's just something not quite right, everything has to be right. Okay, so good luck getting this person in bed. They've got to be available, not busy. It's got to be the right time. Every little detail's got to be right. Now the 14th gate, this is something very empowering. If you've got a friend with this channel or gate, they're going to be really good at encouraging you when you're down. And actually all of these three channels between the sacral and the G center are tantric channels. Sexual energy being transformed up into the heart area, which is to do with self-identity, direction, and love. So someone with the 14th gate here, they're looking for sex that makes them feel more like themselves. That's empowering. And there's a certain oomph to it that's different to the 34 here. Can be very powerful, but in a chaotic way, depending on the design. But the 14 here, it's really like a wave that takes you, hopefully, to a higher level, higher dimension of a sense of beauty is very important in these channels here in the middle. So Taylor Swift, who I'm really not convinced is very sexual at all in reality, but she certainly wants to appear that way, or probably chases after it. She's looking for sexual intimacy that makes her feel like herself. And the 29 here is the gate of saying yes, 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 yes. So she's got half of each of these three tantric channels. It's got to feel really exciting and intense and rhythmic, and feels like it's transforming the energy into something bigger than just sex itself. The 46 here on the other side of that is the love of the body. People who've got this, like Johnny Depp, you come into contact with them and there's something really sensual, depending on how they treat themselves. Obviously, it can be really self-destructive, the gate of hate of the body as well as of love. But anything in that stream has got to be really sensual, treating the body as the temple, and also exciting and with a sense of commitment from the other person. This is what these people seek. The 29, again, the gate of saying yes when it's unconscious in you. It, like Lady Gaga, you'll say yes to almost anything. Can I fuck up your life? Yes, please. Can you do this or that for me? Yes, please. I'm busy, but I'll give you my energy anyway. It's really compulsive saying yes in the unconscious. And it's something to really watch out for if you've got that, to be really in tune with what a real strong response of, is your energy really available for that thing, that person, that call, that service? Or are you just compulsively wanting to say yes because you're hoping that the other person will meet you with that same kind of commitment? Now, as I mentioned, the 59 is the gate of mating. And if your partner has this gate, especially this channel, that's going to be quite a lot of work to satisfy and exhaust that sacral. I mean, the most sex I've ever had completely exhausted a poor projector like me. We chase after what we don't have, but hey, you got to be careful what you wish for, because we were just doing it anytime, anywhere. On the phone, that's no excuse. You're cooking dinner, that's no excuse. You're yeah, it's something to note that if you're a different type to your partner, then you're going to be going after different things. A projector is not necessarily going to be trying to use up and exhaust as much sacral energy and power as a generator actually needs to in order to be satisfied. So Miley Cyrus, certified sexy. And she's not even going to understand why she's driven in such a way, because actually all of these gates coming out of the solar plexus are unconscious. So it's really important for someone like that to be aware of what their moods are, what emotional color they're in. Otherwise, they can be really open and high and go out, and everybody's going to be attracted to them because they're putting out so much juice, and they'll be so open that they'll jump on the first person that approaches them. Whereas for the emotional person, there is no truth in the moment. You have to play hard to get. You have to take your time before jumping in to bed with anyone and committing to anything if you want to have any chance of getting into healthy relationships, because in that moment you're so driven by the chemistry, the hormones, whatever mood you're in, and so is everybody else around you, that you're going to be blinded by that in the moment. You're going to say yes to anyone when you're high, and when you're low on that emotional wave and closed up, then you could have your perfect soulmate dream partner, knight in shining armor, walk up to you and you'll tell them to fuck off because I'm not in the mood. And that's a big shame. So take your time if you're emotional, basically. So 59th gate, that's going to be sexy full stop. In an open sacral center like Johnny Depp, it's going to be absolutely obsessed with it. And as a little sidestep into the next video on the emotional streams, anybody with the 22 and the 36, you can assume that if they don't have sex and romance in their life, at any point they're going to be really depressed. Speaking for myself, suicidally depressed, potentially. It's yeah. I mean, with me, both of my sacral and emotional system are open. So I'm chasing after that. And if I don't have that in my life, then my mind thinks that's a real problem. Obviously, I didn't know about human design at the time to know that, hey, I'm a projector. It's okay. I'm not supposed to be sexy all the time. My life is not supposed to be emotionally exciting all the time. It's okay. Just relax. When you've got these open centers, life brings those things to you in exactly the right way if you just follow your strategy and authority. Now we get to these 3 gates on the bottom of the sacral center. These are part of the format channels. Between the root is your metabolic drive, and the sacral is your life force energy. So the way these channels are fixed, if you have aspects in them, really affects the way all of your energy, all of your chart functions. The 9, the gate of details, as we said, very focused, very intense. Everything's got to be right. When it's unconscious in red in the body, they're going to respond to small, detailed little things. As I say, if your sacral is very fixed, there's absolutely no point in you going to a Tantra workshop and trying to learn all these different caresses and how to do it in different ways. No, there's one specific way or with several different aspects that's really going to work for you. And generators are here to know themselves. So learning what really works for you is the only thing that really matters. And you're not here to adapt that to fit anybody else. So with your partner, there's going to be some places where you can meet, where you resonate, and other places where you're dissonant and you don't meet so well. And one of the most disrespectful things that anybody can say to their partner is, in my opinion, is, I want you to be different to how you are. This is about understanding and accepting yourself. If you've got an open sacral, it's a different story. You can adapt to your partner. And that can be quite challenging because you have a relationship with one person for 3 years who likes it really gentle and soft. And then you meet somebody else who likes it really strong and bestial. And you're like, well, I just spent the last 3 years learning all this gentle stuff and it's not working. And why can't you be more like my last partner? Because I really liked that and it was really easy and blah, blah, blah. With an open sacral, you're taken on a ride, on a sexual ride by your partner if they have definition. So either you like that, you enjoy that, or you don't, okay? But there's no way that you're going to change your partner. It's taken me quite a lot of time to understand how my partners turn on knobs and buttons work. And I wish I knew this information early in my relationship because it would have solved so many problems of why doesn't this work on you when it works on so many other people, and I like it like this, but you like it like that, and how come we can't find the right time to meet each other and all this stuff. But with awareness and acceptance and understanding of yourself and your partner, well, you can make anything work pretty much. As long as you got into it through your strategy and authority, then it's going to be a valuable experience for you. So there's no such thing in human design. And this is a really important point because there's starting to be things on Instagram and human design dating apps, and that's absolutely nonsense. There's no such thing as compatibility from a chart. We're not here to be with people according to what we think we'd like. If you follow your strategy and authority, it's your body, for goodness sake, that's doing the shagging, okay? It's not actually your mind, right? Your mind enjoys all the fantasies and thinking about all the stuff. And if you've got an open head center, then you'll be thinking about all the sex that you can't have just because you've seen it and you think you want it, and you probably wouldn't enjoy it anyway, even if you did try it, and you think your chart's like this, therefore you want somebody like that. That's not what human design is. It's about coming into a deeper sense of intimacy with living life in the present, listening and aware of your body. And after all, isn't that what all our lovers really want? For us to be truly present and aware with them. And then you can make anything work. Think about music. If things are only harmonious and perfect chords, then it sounds so boring. But you get dissonance and interesting things in jazz and things that shouldn't work together with each other, but for some reason, somehow they do. That's the beauty of the things that life brings you when you're following your strategy and authority. It's not what your mind thinks you want. It can be completely the unexpected. And then you can discover new things and, oh, I never knew I liked this or that. I never thought I'd end up with someone like that because all my upbringing, I was programmed to want something completely different. We don't know mentally what's good for us. This information is for better understanding, accepting, appreciating ourselves and our partners, but it's certainly not for trying to analyze, oh, maybe I should be with this person because they're like that and that's what I'd really enjoy, or maybe I should be with that person, or maybe I shouldn't be with that person because it might be really tricky or whatever. All these mental convoluted games. The only way to get to the sex that's really fulfilling for you, whatever type you are, whatever your design is, being in tune with your body through your strategy and authority. Okay, let's get back to the sacral center. The sacral, as you know, if you're a generator, part of your response, one way that you can listen to it, is through the sounds your body makes. When you're eating something you like, you go, Somebody asks you if you want to watch a film, you go, no energy there. So these different gates in the sacral center, just like the different gates of the throat center, have different voices depending from where they're speaking from: the mind, the emotional system, yourself. These gates in the sacral have their own kind of sounds. And the ninth gate of focus and concentration, it makes a very focused and concentrated sound. When they respond, they go, mm-hmm. So just use your imagination, okay? The 29th gate, for example, is part of the abstract. It's not logical, and it goes like the 42 as well when we get round to it. There's logic here in the 9 that's very focused. And then the abstract, more emotional side in the 42, that's about a whole story, okay? The 42 is the gate of finishing things. The 53 is the pressure to start new things. If you've got either end or that whole channel like Zac Efron, then it's really important for your lovemaking to have a whole abstract, imaginative story, to be a complete experience from beginning, middle, and end. You can't just jump in at any point and have a little quickie like the logical system can just go, okay, give me an orgasm. This is how I like it. 30 seconds, done, whoosh, back to your Excel spreadsheet or whatever. The abstract system, there's going to be something more complete. Jumping into the middle, the third gate, we said the 14 is very empowering. The third gate also, but only if it's something new or different. So there's a pressure here to do things in a different way each time, and they're going to be turned on by somebody who brings something freaky and unusual to the table or the sofa or the bed. In terms of a format energy affecting the way the whole rest of you functions, this is very pulsic. It's either off or on. And if there's nothing new, they get very depressed and off all the time. But it's something quite unpredictable. You never really know exactly what it's going to do. You know, he could be in the middle of lovemaking, suddenly the pulse goes off and he doesn't feel like it anymore. Especially as somebody with an open emotional system, he's very spontaneous and sudden and, yeah, just unpredictable changes. You're in the middle of something, suddenly the energy switches, you want to turn over and do it in a completely different way. Okay, the 42, as we said, is the gate of endings. There's got to be a happy ending if you've got this gate. You can't just stop in the middle. That's one of the most frustrating things for a generator with this. And then we get to Dear Lady Gaga with gate 27. The 59 is reproduction. The 27 is caring. In our relationships, obviously, we need both sides. We need to be turned on by someone, and we're turned on by people who feel different. But we also need the caring side all the time. Otherwise, yeah, that's just very destructive. And if you've got that 27, it's really important that you feel a sense of caring in your rapport. Poor Lady Gaga, she just wants somebody who'll say yes and commit and care for her. But all that bad romance. Same with Shakira, and it's a tribal channel. It cares for its offspring, its family, its friends, the people who are in the group. Quite interesting, really, to see the difference between what Shakira puts out in her music, that she wants all this excitement and kundalini, and what really is healthy and correct for her, something that fits in with her rhythm and is caring. So I hope that was fun. Let me know if you have any questions about that, if there's anything I fumbled over that you didn't quite understand. And remember, hey, there are certain things in us that we can change and are flexible, and there are certain things that are not flexible at all and shouldn't be expected of us or our partner to be different from how they are. Next time we'll use Elvis Presley and James Bond to take a look at these 3 streams of libido, desire, passion, need that really define the complexities of what's human about sex, that really has so little to do with reproduction and the sacral center itself. If you enjoyed that, remember to subscribe and surrender to the power of the sacral center, my beautiful, smexy, seductive, sensual subscribers. Mwah.